So, we haven't really talked about football that much.
No, we hadn't. Because I started off the channel as, like, me just talking about basketball. Because I wanted to make, like, cool-looking videos and stuff. Talking about, like, making basketball stories and stuff, like storytelling and giving my opinion. But football is still kind of, like, it's a part of the sports world. And you can learn some things about football and sports as it relates to other sports as well. So they kind of connect.
But right now, I mean, I kind of picked to talk about this just because, you know, we live in the area. But I think that this is something that's kind of important to note. Statistically, other than maybe like touchdowns and total yards, this might be Cam Newton's best year ever.
I agree. Cam Newton, oh man, Cam. I love to hate on Cam Newton, but oh my God. Every time watching him in his, you know, when he was like really inconsistent and stuff, he'll make one play where you're like, oh yeah, that's the Cam I'd like to see. And then the very next play, you want to throw your shoe at the TV.
He throws an interception.
Yeah.
Like
or
deep
does something
downfield.
Wild.
But here's the thing. Maybe it wasn't all him. Now I'm starting to see maybe a lot of the blame needs to be put on Mike Shula for this.
I think all of it should be on Mike Shula.
Because Norv Turner's come in, and Norv Turner has sort of stripped back Cam's game and been like, hey, let's look at what's successful with this. So we got these short and intermediate passes. Because Cam, while he can throw downfield, can be very, very, very inaccurate doing that.
Yeah, he overthrows a lot.
He is
down the
very
field.
notorious for that. But Cam Newton has now gotten to the point where he might have 250 passing yards. You know, not that much. 250 passing yards, 2 or 3 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown.
But that's the thing about Cam, like
0 interceptions too.
That's the thing about Cam, though, in this system. The team is designed to where all the offense has to do is be solid. They don't need to do anything spectacular. You look at teams like the Saints. You look at teams like the Buccaneers. You look at other teams with big, explosive offenses that rely on their offense. A lot of these teams need to have a good offense or else their team will not have a chance to win the game. With the Panthers, that's why I think a lot of people hated Mike Shula, because all they needed to do was be slightly above average to win games. But they were really mediocre to below average.
Because he ran like the same scheme every single time.
I know. I tell you what bothered me every time. I could predict the first play of the game every time. It was that halfback draw or like a lead draw. They would hike it. He would stand in the shotgun. I'd be like, all right, he's gonna hand it off to Christian McCaffrey or Jonathan Stewart. Every time he was standing in the shotgun, I guarantee you probably like at least 6 times last year that was the first play of the game. Every time I was like, oh my God, I can't watch this anymore.
Mike Shula was also a big fan of like these those screens.
What kind of screens?
Like he would, or what was it? Where he would like he would toss it to the side, but like it was almost like a screen.
I know what you're talking about.
And
yeah.
He made it seem like oh, we're gonna trick him here, but everyone could read it every single time.
Yeah, because he would like when he had Ted Ginn or whatever, he would stand on the outside, and then they just throw that quick little screen to the outside, and then they like catch it and then just say like make magic happen, you know?
Yeah.
Just make them do it.
Especially when like you're watching the games and you're like, why is it that on, you know, second down with 3 minutes left in the game, you're throwing a bomb to the end zone?
Makes no sense.
You're down by 4, and you're throwing it deep into the end zone. Like, you have all this time. You have the 2-minute warning left too. Second and 6. Just get the first down. That's all you need.
Exactly.
And you have some viable options, especially now, because Greg Olson's back, and Olson is a very reliable catcher when he's healthy. Christian McCaffrey balling this year. You got Funches who can like rise up a bunch above people.
But that's the thing with Norv Turner. Even when someone's out, he knows how to adjust. Mike Shula never knew how to adjust when someone was out. like, because when Greg Olson was out, he's like, well, I don't know what to do now. I guess we'll just throw a quick screen Ted Ginn or somebody like that, or, C-Mac.
to Philly Brown.
Yeah, Philly Brown. Or, dang, Steve Smith, even though he's not here.
Do you remember that wide receiving crew whenever they went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was average. Well,
their best wide receiver was Ted Ginn Jr. So let's see. We had Ted Ginn Jr.
We had
Philly Brown, Devin Funchess, who was I think a rookie at the time.
Yeah.
Jericho Cotchery. And then like
Burson.
What?
Brenton Burson.
Yeah, Brenton Burson.
Oh God.
And then they had like some good tight ends. They had Greg Olson and Ed Dixon.
Yeah. But other than that, those were really the best players they had in terms
and then
of
there was Cam
that could receive it.
And Cam, for some way, somehow worked some magic that year.
I have no idea what happened. That was definitely a fluke.
But I think Cam's playing very well right now.
You think so?
I think so.
I do too, because like I said,
he's protecting the ball more now.
Yeah, his decision making is improving because like I said, all he needs to do is be solid. But now he's a lot more comfortable because they said that Norv Turner was kind of the originator of that Shula offense, that one that they instilled. And as the master, he knows all the tricks.
That
and
was
stuff
such
like
a good
that
pickup in the offseason, was getting obviously you need to get rid of Mike Shula. He needed that because he has been dragging the team down for the past couple years. But to get Norv Turner, who honestly wasn't that successful as a head coach, but was a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he was phenomenal as an offensive coordinator. I think,
especially working with quarterbacks, to be specific.
Yeah, he's always made his quarterbacks look really phenomenal. Like with Troy Aikman, he made him look great.
He like John Gruden thinks he's like Norv Turner. Because you see like John Gruden's like quarterback camp and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. I don't know, maybe because he thinks
he's embarrassed himself this season. That's for sure.
Yeah, obviously they're tanking on purpose. Everybody knows that.
Everyone wants to come play for the Raiders.
No. I predicted they were going to tank after week 3. I was like, this team is terrible. Trading.
Then they got rid of Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I said this team is terrible. They're rebuilding for the future. He's there for the long haul. He's
now Amari Cooper's with another bad team.
Yes. I would have just stayed put, to be honest, but he couldn't control it.
He could have played in Vegas.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
That's gonna be kind of cool to watch. But back to Cam, I think that this has been a good season for him. I think that if they build on this, then maybe next season we could see, a little bit of that magic we saw in 2015. Maybe not to like that extent, but I think we could see a more consistent Cam.
Yeah, and that's just always been the problem with Cam Newton is consistency.
Did you ever see that chart from last year? Where it's like the up and down, like every game he fluctuated in his his QBR?
I remember that. Yeah, his consistency, all he needs to do is just start off small like he did earlier in the season. Get maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns a game and try to stay over 60% or around 60%. But he's just such a phenomenal and special athlete that's all he really needs to be successful. Like, he can – because a lot of people will criticize him because his completion percentage is not the highest, but he doesn't have to be extremely accurate as long as he doesn't turn over the ball. That's where all the problems lie, is when he throws the ball and he throws a lot of interceptions, throws a lot of picks, maybe fumbles the ball, is where that really pops up and is really apparent that, he's got accuracy problems. But as long as he protects the ball and does the right things, then Cam will be considered an elite quarterback and, bring the team more forward.
Do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
Obviously. Yeah, they'll definitely. Oh, the Redskins.
The Redskins.
Yeah,
that's it.
Oh, and that was a close
how did I
game,
forget
too.
about that? Because that was like Josh Norman coming back, and
Yeah,
that was the first. That was the first time I
quick.
think Cam's ever lost to the Redskins, or not like.
because he went 4-0
Yeah,
against them before.
Yeah, and he had like great games against them. I think his best game in 2015 statistically, he had like 5 touchdowns against the Redskins in 2015.
Good Lord.
Crazy. Anyway, but I think they'll make the playoffs. Do you think they have a
Easy
chance
money.
to make it far in the playoffs?
Depends on their matchup. I always said they have to avoid 2 teams. I think they can beat the Rams, and they can beat anybody else, except they have to avoid these 2 teams until the very end. The Eagles and the Saints, they will get knocked out by both of those. They got a chance of beating the Rams. That's easy money. But the Eagles and the Saints, they will lose. I guarantee you that. They'll lose.